to our June 2002 Zodiac reading for our fire signs. So hello Sagittarius and Leo and Aries. So if you are Sagittarius, Leo, Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, welcome. And of course all other signs, you're welcome to sit in and listen in, because of course we have a lot of these placements throughout our charts, not just specifically our Sun, Moon, and Rising. But anyway, if you don't know who I am, my name is Tara and I'm with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot. If you want to learn more about me, my website is down below. Check out kittensweightsandtarot.com. You can also check out my Patreon, you can check out my YouTube memberships, and you can check out Desert Cauldron, which we've been working on some new items over at the Cauldron, so definitely go check it out. And yeah, let's dive into what June has cooked up for our fire signs. And as I think about June, that is my solar return. My birthday is coming up, you guys. But we won't get into the air signs until Tuesday of next week. So anyway, let's see what fire signs have going on. So I'm going to cast an elemental circle first. So working with the elements, I'm going to use a little bit of water here. Hey, Sumi, meow. So my intention is that the energy of water helps to clear the space, not only in my physical space here, but also wherever you guys are. Hey, Susie, stopping by to say hi. What's up? So just clearing up the space right here. And that water feels really good, actually, because it's over 100 today. So I'm just, nice and cool, you guys. All right. And this, by the way, this is some potent stuff. This is dual eclipses. So this was the new moon solar eclipse and through the whole cycle of the full moon lunar eclipse, the super blood moon that we have. So powerful stuff, like I said. Okay, let's go ahead and light our candle. Susie said, oh, it's very hot there too. Yeah, I think we're pretty much going to be in the triple digits until the end of summer, beginning of fall, maybe. I don't know. All right, incorporating that fire element. And let's now incorporate some of that air element, although I think the AC is going to help with some of that air element right now. So let's use our piece of Palo Santo here. Which these pieces, they last me forever. I don't think I've had to have a new piece of Palo Santo in many, 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 many years. All right. Smells amazing. Everything nice and clear. All right, for the earth element, well, I have something to show you guys. It's not quite ready for Desert Cauldron. We're working with it. I want to work with my wands before we actually put anything in the shop, but this is one that we are working with, and I'm going to use this for the earth energy and as the wand to cast our circles. So this is actually a male springbok horn, and then we have indigo gabbro as the sphere, and this was naturally shed, of course, and then the leather here, this is deer hide leather, and this is ethically obtained, so making sure that harm to none when we create our magical tools. Although inside, I don't know if you guys can hear, or maybe the mic's here. But we have sand in here from the Superstition Mountains. So literally we grabbed a bag of dirt from the Superstition Mountains. The energy is insane, and so it's something that we wanted to have in our wands. But anyway, this is just what we're working with right now. Not quite ready to put it into the shop, but Susie said, Maleficent reminds me of the movie. I was kind of thinking about that, dark goddess and, stuff like that. So anyway, let's cast that circle, and I love the way it wraps around my wrist here. So we're going to call in the elementals of the north to help us to cast our circle today. Calling in the elementals of the east to help us to cast our circle today. Calling in the elementals of the south to help us to cast our circle today. Calling in the elementals of the east to help us to cast our circle today. All right, our circle is cast. Let our work begin, and so it is. Okay, so let's put that off to the side. Let's do a little bit of sound clearing while we're here. With my Tibetan singing bowl. All right, I'm ready to dive in. I have a little crystal. Well, I guess it's not that little, but just to kind of help us out today, I have my black moonstone. I got this in Tucson, not this past year, but the year before. Love it so much. It's been with me since yesterday, so I'm going to continue working with it today. Okay, I have all of our items for this evening, and the decks that I'm going to be working with. Oh, Susie is switching to the computer. Debbie, hey! But I'm going to, of course, be working with my Wally's World Oracle. By the way, the link for my Wally's World is down below, but it's a deck that I created a few years back with the help of our beautiful community, and many people contributed to this deck. So it's not only my images in here, but the images of many of our friends from our wonderful community. All right, I'm also going to bust out the Mars Power Tarot, because we're working with fire signs, you know, Sagittarius, Leo, Aries, so I thought you guys might like this deck. I'm also going to bust out my charms. You guys have seen my charms before. Look just like this. They're all kinds of fun. And then, I don't know, I found some more decks that just seem kind of fiery. So we're going to use the Seasons of the Witch, Beltane Oracle, and the Chinese Fortune reading cards. So, all right. Let's dive in. So let's go right into the elemental reading. So just for fire signs in general, what can we expect in June? What can we prepare for? Opportunities that we can take, and blocks that may come up for us, of course. We'll take a look at that. And then we're also going to look into each individual sign. So what's going on with Sagittarius, what's going on with Leo, and what's going on with Aries in June. Okay, so go ahead and bust this deck out. Oh, everybody's saying hello. Susie said woo woo. All right, so let's get an overall theme for our fire signs. What is the overall theme for June for you guys, 2022? Oh, all right, so the card that popped out, Susie's like, oh, I'm behind on my computer. No worries. The card that popped out, actually, this is an image that was taken by my best friend in Belgium. And this is a little park that she likes to go to, and a tree that she likes to sit under and meditate, read books oftentimes. So it's pretty near her home over there in Chihuahua. So let's take a look at what this means for our fire signs in June. I've been doing a lot more channeling lately, so please bear with me as I just go in a little bit differently with my cards these days. Oh, okay, so fire signs, the overall theme, you know, as we go through these various readings here, just the overall theme that's connected to all of the aspects that we're going to go through is all about standing alone, or it may feel as though we are standing alone. So if something comes up in June where your beliefs are challenged, or your word is challenged, or some sort of challenge comes up where it's all about you standing your ground, you standing in your truth. Not to say that you need to remain rigid and you don't listen to other people's opinions and ideas, but more this is somebody confronting you about something, and wanting to persuade you. And yes, by all means, you want to listen, but I feel this is more about you guys really not backing down just to make somebody happy. Yes, we can make compromises, but I feel this is more about fire signs, you guys remaining true to yourselves, not giving into peer pressure or worldly pressure or whatever you guys are feeling, and going with what's truly in your heart and connecting to your higher self. So this is not about the ego standing its ground, but this is about your higher self, your heart standing its ground. So it may feel very lonely, especially if maybe the people that are confronting you about something are those that you love, people that you love, and so maybe even some of your closest friends. So this is going to be a bit of a challenge, you know, testing out your solar plexus energy really this month. And that makes sense. I mean, you guys are fire signs, so you guys are connected to that solar plexus. But I do feel that this is going to be a test, a little bit of a test. So let me know how that connects. Okay, So let's pull out this Mars Power Tarot. Susie is back to the phone. She's like, that didn't work. Okay, so the Star Power Tarot is one of my soul decks, but I do love the Moon Power and the Mars Power, which is, all three of them are created by Charlie Quintero, and I love them so much. So let's dive into them. Susie said, well, I have Neptune in my fourth house, fire, and it makes sense. Hey. All right, so let's pull some cards here. What? Just for fire signs in general, wherever that placement may be, what is our message for June? What do we have for us going on in June? Ooh, all right. 4 cards it is. All right, let's take a look at the first card. We have the Lovers. And then we have the Hierophant. All right, 2 major arcanas right off the bat. Interesting. The King of Pentacles. Holy cow, you guys. And then we have the Queen of Wands. Wow, 2 majors and 2 court cards. All right, let's dive into this. Let's read it as a whole, and then let's break it down card by card. So give me just a moment. Okay, so this really is going off of what I said before with the theme card about standing alone. Or it feeling like you're standing alone, as if you're the only one with this particular belief or opinion or point of view. And so I do see it as between really you and, it could be a small group of people, but I really see it as just one other person. So here with the King of Pentacles, and we have the Queen of Wands. And of course I'm seeing the Wands as you guys, the fire signs, really wanting to express yourself. This is my point of view. This is why I believe what I do. And this is why, you know, whatever the situation may be, you know, perhaps somebody's, like I said, trying to persuade you of something, or they say you did something and you didn't do it. Whatever it is. Susie said, designed by Ace, sending you much success. Oh, and designed by Aces, I see. Starting a second job, new personalities, new challenges for sure. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here the challenge comes then from the King of Pentacles. And well, as designed by Ace was just saying, you know, if this is for some probably going to be relating to work and the people that you are with in the workplace, but this could also relate to some of our earth signs, and butting heads with perhaps the earth signs in our life, either within our family or our closest friends. So let's take a look at what it is that the confrontation might be about. And again, we're taking a look at the Lover's card here and the Hierophant. So this is all about your connection to your higher self and the truth that comes through from that. And as you speak your truth, as you speak from the solar plexus, the throat chakra, your heart, higher self, that may challenge the beliefs of the people around you. And of course, the knee-jerk reaction is for the ego to get involved because it's something that it doesn't understand, it's not its truth, and it doesn't know what you're talking about. So hence the confrontations come in. Nuh-uh, that's not the way it is. Or you did this. So-and-so said they saw you. Somebody's girlfriend's cousin's baby mama's like best friend said they saw you. You know, this kind of thing. And you and your heart connecting to everything, that is not true. Or I see where you're coming from, but this is still my belief. So definitely going to trigger possibly the other party, whatever it is. I mean, you may not be trying to trigger anyone, but possibly just triggering the other party. They want to get into a confrontation or an argument because they don't know what to do when their shadows come up. You know, not everybody works on shadow work or even knows what a shadow is. So hence we get these conflicts. So I really see this as being a big thing, as this is coming up in 2 different decks. So this might be a thing that kind of happens throughout this month, kind of just going back and forth with this particular person or this group of people. Susie said, yes, very challenging energy lately. Yes, definitely, for sure. But also, when the ego of another person rises up and decides that it doesn't want to listen to what you have to say because this is all new information, it doesn't have any past experience to base this off of, therefore it must be untrue, because it's coming from a place that isn't connected to the higher self. Your ego doesn't have intuition. That's a separate thing. So when they work together, they're fabulous, but the ego on its own has some troubles sometimes. And so if you're running into that, just know that the people that you're speaking with may also trigger your shadows and may trigger, some of the things that you truly believe, and activate your ego as well. So just make sure that when you're speaking, it's coming from a heart center instead of an egocentric place, but also keeping an open mind about where the other person is coming from. This doesn't mean to just cave in and say, okay, well, let's just do things your way just so that we don't have an argument, because the other person doesn't learn anything and you don't learn anything either. So we want to make sure that both parties are learning something. And it looks like the reason this is going to be such a big deal for all of our fire signs this month is because you do have a lot to learn, and so does the other person, through triggering, through shadows, through the arguments that we have with ourselves or one another. We have a lot to learn. We take that information in, and maybe we might resist at first, but later on we realize, why did that really trigger me? And maybe it wasn't that person at all. It was the thing they were talking about, which takes me back to maybe 1982 when, certain trauma came up. So it's a chance for us to recognize those things and heal those things. So you have a chance for some major healing this month, all my fire babies. So keep that in mind. Let's see. Sumi says, I tell my ego to make me a sandwich anytime it starts to give me crap. You're like, yeah, why don't you go work on a BLT or something? Put the ego in check. And then Susie is asking if she can borrow your sandwich idea. Very nice. All right, so let's move these up. And let's take a look at our individual signs. So Sagittarius, Leo, Aries. Let's take a look-ski and let's pull out some charms. I know some homies are ready for me to dabble into these charms. Okay, so I'm going to let's pull a few for Sagittarius first. All right. Sagittarius. All right, we have the number 2. So this could be relating to the second month, so maybe a February, the 2nd of June. It could also be relating to a time. So I like to leave letters and numbers up to you guys for your intuition. So I'm just gonna leave that, but also I just kind of want to throw in a little bit of 2 cents while you guys are working on your intuition with this one. But I don't want to say really quarrel issue seems to be between 2 people. And when we think of the lovers and your attachment to things, the combination of possibly the ego and the higher self, we think of the number 2. I mean, lover's card technically is not the number 2 in the major arcana, but it's about 2 energies, yin and yang, opposing energies coming together in symbiosis. Okay. So anyway, number 2, you guys. And then Sagittarius, we also have SpongeBob SquarePants. All right, so give me just a second with Mr. SpongeBob. What does that mean for Sagittarius? Okay, Sagittarius. So, like I said, whether you are Sagittarius, Leo, Aries, this kind of theme is going to show up in a variety of ways, because we're all different people. We all got different stuff going on in our lives. So this may look different to different people, but it's somewhat the same theme for all of those fire signs. SpongeBob SquarePants. So what I was getting with that is, you know, you think of the song. Those of you that have kids or remember watching SpongeBob, it's oh, who lives in a pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob SquarePants. Who's yellow and porous and square is he? SpongeBob SquarePants. Because I never watched it, right? And we think of how ridiculous that is, right? There's literally a sponge. Like, yes, sponges live in the sea, but he looks like an actual like sponge that you keep on your countertop. And he wears square pants, and he lives in a pineapple under the sea. He has a starfish friend named Patrick, and you know, a crabby friend, and Squidward, and you know, all of these goofy characters. And keeping in mind the confrontation perhaps that might arise between you and another person, try to refrain from getting ridiculous. Hey, Lisa! So, and also realize when the other party might start getting ridiculous as well. You know, oftentimes when little kids get really upset because the other person doesn't want to believe them, or they aren't getting their way, or they don't understand, or they think that you're lying, they start getting really far-fetched, and their facts and their ways of persuasion start getting really out there. Oh yeah? Well, then I'm just not gonna eat for a month. How about that? You know how? But adults, we seem to not have grown past that. You know, we see little kids doing that. We're like, oh, ridiculous. How ridiculous, little kids. But that's kind of us too. Sometimes, you know, when we feel like we don't have any more information to add to the argument, but we just want to keep going, we might just start making up really odd things. So just make sure that you maybe refrain from just throwing in really weird stuff into your argument, but also realize when somebody else is doing that. And so if it has come to a point that way, then you may want to say, okay, let's table this. Let's come back to it tomorrow, or I'll see you next week, because obviously today we're just getting ridiculous with each other. And I think that you guys might have a good laugh at that when you guys realize how ridiculous the two of you are being. But table it, come back when you're a little more level-headed and a little bit more grounded, and so is the other person as well. Okay, so just a little FYI for Sagittarius folks out there. All right. Debbie loves SpongeBob. Hey, dude, I got nothing against SpongeBob. Okay, so let's take a look at Leo. All right, our little lions. Okay. Oh, all right, Leo. Designed by Aces definitely resonates. Thank you. You're very welcome. We have this little lobster. Actually, we found this our first time camping up here. So we have a little lobster. Oh, it's one of my newest charms. I actually found this on the ground. I think this came off of somebody's crock, but it like blinks. You have to hit it though. And I think he's a sun or a sunflower. In this case, I think he's the sun, and we'll use that imagery. Okay, so let me put this together for Leos. So again, we have a lobster and we have the sun that blinks. There he goes. Okay. Okay, Leo, again, with you guys and confrontation. Whereas Sagittarius might get a little bit ridiculous, and after a while arguing with somebody, they might just start coming up with like crazy things to say, you know, just to, I don't know, oddly put the other side down with a crazy scenario that could never be. But Leo, I'm feeling that the tendency towards this situation is to get heated rather quickly, shadows really triggered, and maybe saying some things that later you might regret. So before we pull out the claws and decide, you want to fight, bro? Before that comes, and before the sun or the heat of the moment starts really cooking the ego, that's when, if you start to really feel that rise up and like, oh dude, I gotta destroy this person, and you really start to feel that flare up, that's when you know it's time to take a break. Like, chill out, Leo. Yes, you could probably mess that person up. You're a big lion, but is it really necessary? And just because somebody has a differing opinion, does this mean we must destroy them? And vice versa. You know, if the other person, if you see them start to get to that point where they might want to start throwing hands, maybe, you know, not literally, but maybe verbally, then it's like, okay, we both need to take a break. Because we're going to just start saying some really mean stuff. We're going to start saying some things about each other, and it's not going to be good, and it's not going to be constructive. Nobody's going to hear the other person, especially, you know, when people are fighting, nobody is listening to the other side. They're all about, I want to win and I want to quiet this person. But that's, you know, and even when somebody's quote unquote a winner of a particular fight, are they really a winner? Oftentimes there's egos that are bruised, people are hurt. And nothing is really resolved. So there really is no winner in a particular situation like that. Susie said, everyone have a beautiful night. Dinner time. Much love. All right. You have a great dinner, Susie. What did we have? Oh, we had one of my Filipino dishes tonight. So that's still sitting well in my stomach. It's technically translated as rolong tolong. So it's like stuffed eggplant. So anyway, maybe you guys want to try that out one night. All right, let's take a look into Aries. All right, Aries. All right, Aries. What do we have here? Oh, we got a little dino and a little dino egg. And we have a pog. And it says fly. And we have a little butterfly there. So we have a dinosaur in a little egg, and then we have fly with the butterfly. All right, so let's take a look into what this means for Aries. Oh, wow. Okay, Aries, for you, I'm getting something a little bit different. Maybe not so hostile of a conversation, but definitely something that triggers something within you, triggers something within the other person. But I feel you guys are more able to recognize what is being triggered and where the healing needs to take place. So I really feel that there's a lot of transformation that can be gained from this particular conflict between you and the other person. And it becomes more than just what happens between you and this other person. It's about your healing journey and their healing journey, and then recognizing that and actually thanking that person for, maybe you won't thank them in person. Maybe you'll do this in meditation, or maybe you really will thank them in person. It's up to you. Thanking them for triggering your shadows. Thank you for getting me to see this in myself. I realized it had nothing to do with you. I've been working on this healing, and this opens up a dialogue for the other person as well. But I see, Aries, this is a really good time for transformation. So June, with this butterfly and this little dinosaur hatching out of this egg, you know, becoming something more than just an egg. Now it's a dinosaur. So yeah, definitely something more here. Sumi says, I gave Lisa butterflies when she came in the room. Oh, hey. So perhaps this is for Lisa here. Excellent. All right. Let's see. What did I want to get into? Oh, I wanted to get into opportunities and blocks. And you know what? Let's bust out Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle for that. Hey, let's put my little charms off to the side here. There we go. All right, Beltane Oracle. Woohoo! Seasons of the Witch. Let's see. What is a possible opportunity coming up for our fire signs in June? And we'll pull another card for a possible block coming up for our fire signs in June. So we can see how might we do a workaround or grow from this particular block. Okay. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bing. All right, so let's take a look at blocks first. And we have Sacred Waters. Beautiful art, by the way, in this deck. Drunken by the swell of the sea, I can feel the blanket of her embrace. Unafraid of the presence releasing the cords, I call her in. I call her deeply within. And when I think of the sacred waters, I think of our emotions. And what could block us from growth in the month of June, what could block us from our manifestations and moving forward in the things that we want to do, is not the argument itself, not these conflicts that we might have with others throughout the month. You know, and we're just human beings, we're all different, we're all going to have conflicts at some time or another, but we grow from those conflicts. It's when our emotions are used more to, I don't know, the word weaponize came to mind. When we use our emotions as weapons, or weaponizing the emotions in others, instead of feeling our emotions as they come up. What is this emotion trying to tell me? Remembering that emotions are the language that we had before we had language. You know, our bodies spoke to us and our emotions spoke to us, which are within our bodies. And then later on, we gave words to those and symbols to those particular emotions, those particular feelings. So if a conflict comes up, and maybe an old programming technique might be to cry, not because you actually feel like you need to cry, in which case, please do cry, but more sometimes we're quick to tears because it's what we did when we were little and it helped stop the person from yelling at us. So it's more like a defense mechanism. You know, if we had strict parents, a mother and father, or, you know, whoever our caretaker was that was very strict, sometimes children may be quick to tears because they know that it will, in some cases, stop that person from being angry with them, or they might leave the room. And sometimes we take that with us as adults. I don't want to say this is going to be the way that things play out, but if sometimes we use certain emotions just to stop the argument instead of learning something from the argument, that might be what we want to look into. And also, if we're trying to change the emotion of the other person, like maybe they're very angry with us, I would rather them feel sorry for me than be angry at me right now, or I want them to be a friend. So you might change your behavior in order to change their emotions, but again, you're sidestepping the issue, you're sidestepping the conflict that you both can grow from and heal from. So take a look at that when it comes to emotions, okay? Because it can block us from our growth, but also the growth of the people that we are in conflict with. Okay, so let's take a look at a possible opportunity. Hey, look at this. We have ribbons. Aw. And how awesome is that? It says, "For it lives in the silk of my binding, the knots in my truth, the eye of becoming, the witness swallowed in stillness." All right, so if we can use our emotions to help us understand how we're feeling, where we need healing, and the other party, we can maybe open up a dialogue and then they feel comfortable to speak, or maybe vice versa. We have a real chance to build some deeper connection, not only with the people around us, but with ourselves. Because now you can see the growth within yourself. Wow, when I really tapped into my heart and I spoke from my heart, it felt different. My emotions felt different. The way my voice reverberated coming out of my mouth felt different, you know, and so we start to see how our ego is connected to our higher self, and how, you know, we're connected to each other, that, you know, this person across from me is not my enemy, but really my teacher, and I am thus their teacher as well, and we're both the students of each other. So it's this interconnectedness. It's really very beautiful. And that is an amazing opportunity. And through that, you know, some people might be saying, well, I was kind of hoping opportunities might be in like money or in relationships and, you know, things like that. And well, if we think about it, if we can understand our connection to our higher self, we understand our interconnectedness to everything on this planet, it makes manifestation that much easier. Whether you want to manifest money or a relationship or a career or whatever it may be, it's all about understanding the connection instead of seeing yourself as separate. When we see ourselves as separate, it makes it almost feel like a uphill battle trying to get the things that we want, because we don't feel that we have any connection to that thing. So this is a great opportunity, you guys. All right then. Ooh, yay! we're going to be doing the viewers poll, viewers choice poll. So I have 2 questions that James and I came up with for you guys. I am going to use the Chinese fortune reading cards for this. So I'm going to read both questions, and then you get to vote on what question you would actually like me to pull a card for. So let's vote with emojis. We'll have red heart emojis or green heart emojis. So here we go. Let me grab my little questions here. All right, for everybody who's in the chat today, for the first question, please vote with a red heart emoji if you would like me to pull a card for the question, how can I add more light this month? Okay, how can I add more light? I say this metaphorically. Question number 2, and you can vote with a green heart emoji for this one. By the way, if you don't have access to your emojis and you're at a keyboard, just type red heart or type green heart. Okay, where have I had too much vacation and where have I not had enough? And James and I were kind of coming up, with like questions related to our light and questions relating to questions about our vacations and things like that. So that's because we're going into the month of June. We're going into summer, baby. Well, up here in the Northern Hemi. Northern Hemi is going into summer, man. Okay, so we already have a vote coming in. Lisa is voting with a green heart. So here are the questions again. You guys cast your votes. Red heart for, how can I add more light this month? Green heart for, where have I had too much vacation and where have I not had enough? That just, I believe, means kind of slacking on some things and maybe working too hard on some things. Okay, so let's do a little Jeopardy music. Do 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 do. Sumi coming in with the green heart. Do 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 do. And I know there's a few people that are just kind of listening in. They may not be near their cell phones or their keyboards, but if you are, please go ahead and cast your votes. Do do do. Ba da 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 da. All right. Let's go ahead and give people a 10-second countdown. Otherwise, it looks like it's going to be a unanimous green hearts, which is all for the second question. Okay, so let's do it. Oh, and designed by Ace coming in with a 3rd green heart. There we go. It looks like it's going to be blown out of the water. We have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, listo. Okay, so here we go. It looks like we're going with the second question. The second question is, where have I had too much vacation and where have I not had enough? Okay, so where in our lives are we maybe on a little bit of a snooze cruise? Let's see here. And then where have I not had enough? You know what, we're going to go off that same card. Let's go here. Let's take a look-ski. Ooh, wisdom. Yeah, I think it's been a while since I busted out this deck. It's a really pretty deck, by the way. Okay, so give me a moment for me to channel this message real quick. Wow. Wow. Okay. How do I explain this? Okay. What I was seeing was like somebody with tons of books on astrology, tarot, palm reading, aliens, like all these different types of books. And they want to learn. They want to know as much as they can. And it's almost like taking in like too much information, like watching YouTube channel after YouTube channel, you know, this video and that video and this, you know, reality, like taking a look into the matrix, but also learning about numerology, and you know, and you have all these stacks of books, and it's like taking in all these different modes of thinking and practices and ways people interpret signs and modes of divination, and it's just a lot, like trying to learn everything there is to learn at once. So in that respect, I feel like you need to take a bit of a vacation, not to stop, but just to kind of slow down, because there is a lot of information and you do need time to sit with the information, see how, if it even makes sense for you, does it even connect for you, everything that person said in that YouTube video or on television or within that book that you read, or whatever it may have been in the discussion with somebody that you met. And really let it sit with you, let it take hold, journal about it. But just, I see this like, go just a little bit more slow. Like it's great that you're gung-ho. It's great that, well, you're a fire sign. It's great that you really want to learn all these things, that you're passionate about learning. That's fantastic. But it becomes so saturated that sometimes we get little bits and pieces of everything, but we tend to forget because we're trying to take in too much information at one time. So the information is beneficial, it's just too much at once. And so it's hard to even remember what it was that, or all the pieces that you read or heard or spoke about. So that might be one area, just to kind of take a bit of a break. But where you've been on vacation a little bit too much is then, as signs make themselves known, as messages are revealed within your own tarot readings, as you get into conversations with somebody and it brings up a shadow or a part that needs to be healed, and you have this revelation, but it seems like the aha moment, more information about numerology, astrology, Mayan astrology, things, and you're so focused on learning all these things that now there's real-time learning right in front of you, like, oh, seeing butterflies, feathers falling from the sky, somebody's shirt says exactly what I was just thinking 2 seconds ago, like, wow, synchronicity, mind blown. All these mind-blowing moments, and it's kind of like, that's cool. All right, I'm gonna go back to reading this book about and it's like the moment has completely passed. So it's like, that's where you've been taking a bit of a vacation, and not all of you, but perhaps most of you, where instead of taking in, oh wow, this mind-blowing event, and then really letting that sit with you and then grow from it, it's like, okay, next. And then, but nothing was done. There was no journaling, there was no meditation with it, there was no nothing. It was, as if almost a waste of a sign, it felt like. Okay, yeah, it's just, I'm sorry, every time I channel, I tell you my eyes get drippy. But yeah, that was very interesting. Just like being a super student, but at the same time, when stuff comes up that you have learned about, you're like, meh. So very, very interesting on that one. Okay. Oh, let's see. We have gotten to our healing portion. Are you guys ready for this? So I have my drum. This is a drum that I made, and yes, I did this wolf design on there. I used my well, they're not really markers, they're like paint markers. They're Prismacolor, and I have a little dowel here. So I'm going to take you guys through a quick guided meditation, but really I'm mostly just going to be drumming. And so wherever you wish to be taken during this particular meditation, please go there. You've had quite a few messages. You also have the messages broken down by zodiac sign. See what actually connects with you and what doesn't. Not all of my messages maybe connect with everybody who's listening to this. So really, this is my favorite part of our live chats, because you have a moment to yourself, maybe 5 minutes. My meditations don't take that long. So just 5 minutes for you to really sit with the messages and decide what did connect, what do I really truly want to work on, what do I really truly want to bring in, and what do I really want to release for the month of June, having heard everything that came through. Designed by Ace said resonates for sure. Well, excellent. So let's do a bit of healing, you guys. So let's get nice and situated. You guys can lie down, you can sit in a chair, you can lounge on the couch, or your chaise lounge if you are so bougie. Just get yourself nice and comfortable. Me, I'm sitting on the floor in a nice cushy towel. You could be doing the same, just whatever works for you. Just start to feel relaxation in the neck. Shoulders, make sure they're pulled away from your ears. The arms feeling nice and heavy. Legs feeling nice and heavy. And if you are laying down, just make sure that your spine is straight. And if you are sitting, make sure that your spine is straight, as if somebody was pulling a little string up from the top of your head, like you were a little ornament on a tree. We want that nice, clear connection going straight down our own tree of life within inside our bodies, known as our spinal cord. I want you to bring your awareness to your breath. And as you focus on your breathing, start thinking about all the messages that you heard today during the chat. All the things that people said during this chat. Perhaps something stuck out to you, something another person said. Perhaps it's something that I said. Maybe it was an image that you saw on one of the cards that I didn't touch on, but it meant something to you. And I want you to just think about these things. What connected? What didn't? How do you see June going for you? If you are confronted with conflict, see yourself acting in the way and responding in the way that you think would truly fit your higher self. And on your next inhalation, I want you to breathe in that image, breathe in that feeling. Hear it, see it, feel it. Maybe it even has a scent. And breathe it in nice and deep, all the way into the lungs, all the way into the diaphragm, and all the way into the stomach. And next we're going to release a full release, belly button all the way to the spine. What are you releasing? What would you like to steer clear from or get rid of this month? Perhaps it's a belief, way of doing things. Perhaps it's the way we deal with our emotions or feel our emotions. And continue breathing in this intention and breathing out what you're letting go of. And wherever it is that you are laying down, sitting, really feel the fabric under you, the ground under you, the soil under you. Feel that texture. And know that while you are connected to this infinite, powerful being that lives right inside of you, known as your higher self, you're also a human here on earth, on solid ground. And I want you to begin pushing your energy from the lower half of your body down to the core of Mama Gaia. Connect your energy to the core of Mama Gaia and recognize that you are grounded, you are secure, you're surrounded by infinite, beautiful energy, and you are protected. As you continue your visualization and the thoughts you had about what you'd like to bring in for June, I want you to pull that down from source energy and allow that beautiful light to go straight through your spinal column, filling every cell in your body, every limb, every organ, everything. Let it fill your being. Let that energy go right through down to the core of Mama Earth. And at the same time, you're going to breathe in that earth energy. And you're going to let her transmute that into something beneficial, something supportive. She is the great magician, as are you, because you are a part of her. So continue breathing in source and releasing through Gaia. Breathing in source release through Gaia. All right, you guys, go ahead and bring your awareness back to your body. And go ahead and wiggle your fingers and your toes, kind of bring yourself back in. And if you've had your eyes closed, go ahead and open them back up again. But I thank you guys so much for sitting in with our zodiac readings for all of our fire signs for June of 2022. Lisa was saying, oh, that it also resonates as well, and she had to go. So I am wishing you a wonderful rest of your evening and wishing you all a great rest of your evening. And again, thank you everybody who jumped in today. I hope that you have a great evening or morning, depending on where you are, or if you're having dinner right now, have an excellent dinner. Bon appetit. But also, thank you guys for all of your subscriptions. So everybody who subscribed to my channel, everybody who gave this a thumbs up, everybody who shared this, thank you so very much. And everybody who joined in the discussions and the viewers polls, thank you. I love hanging out with you guys after dinner. Sumi throwing up roses, thank you. But let's go ahead and close up this circle. Oh, it's Hetty's, yes. Designed by Asa. Thank you for all you do. Thank you guys for coming in here. And I hope that you enjoyed the reading, and I hope that you enjoyed the healing. So let's blow out. Wow, just dinging the Tibetan singing bowl. Let's go ahead and blow out our candle. You guys go ahead and make a wish for the month of June. And so it is. May your wishes come true. Let's close up our circle here. Again, using what Susie thought was more like Maleficent, our awesome wand that we're test driving at the moment. And if we feel really good about it, we'll go ahead and put it in our shop. But I'm test driving this wand right now. So let's call in the energies of the north and thanking them for helping us to cast our circle today. Thank you, energies of the west, for helping us to cast our circle today. Thank you, energies of the south, for helping us to cast our circle today. Thank you, energies of the east, for helping us to cast our circle today. The circle is closed, but it still remains. As above, so below, as within, so without. Merry meet, merry part, merry we do we meet again. And so it is. All right, you guys, thank you so very much. I also want to give thanks to all of my patrons, all of my people thinking about YouTube memberships, everyone. So I like to name my patrons by name. So thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Sarian, Brandy, B, Samara, Kirsten, Jasa, Kayla, Charles, and Brian. Thank you all so very much. It means a lot to me because this is what I do, and I love what I do, and I love being able to have the opportunity to share it with you guys. All right, have a wonderful rest of your evening. Like I said, if you guys are having dinner, have an amazing dinner or chillax. All right, so have a fantastic June. Catch your fire signs later. Tomorrow we're going to be hitting up our water signs. So anyway, see you tomorrow, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And maybe I will bust out one of our other ones. Catch you later. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out. Bye, guys.